Exclusive contract with Feilu Novel Network novel. Daqin. Fake death of me, exposed on the golden list at the beginning. In the world of martial arts, 100 countries compete for supremacy. Winning Qi travels through time to become the 9th prince of the Great Qin. And awakened the check.in system. As long as you sign in at the designated location in the system, you can receive countless rewards. So Ying used feigned death to deceive people around the world, signed in everywhere, and created countless forces. Until the golden list arrives. Counting the supreme power of the world, all of his influence has been exposed. On this day, Emperor Huang was shocked and said, "My Qi'er didn't die." The 8 Butu who slaughtered the world, the Tianyi building that eavesdropped on the wind and rain, the whip of God, the great snow dragon cavalry. Qi'er, how much power have you concealed from me? Do you have to wait for the golden list to expose you? Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1 Fantasy comes out, the golden list of the supreme power appears. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In 221 AD. The Great Qin Dynasty, Xianxia Palace. The study room is brightly lit at night. Emperor Yingzheng looked at the pile of documents on the table and felt a headache. Nowadays, the situation in Kyushu is turbulent, and countless documents have to be processed late into the night every day, which makes him quite laborious. At this point, Yingzheng picked up a jade pendant next to the table and gently rubbed it. Hey, if only Qi'er was still here. If he were here, I wouldn't have been so tired. Yingzheng couldn't help but see the spirit as he looked at the jade pendant. This jade pendant was given to him by his 9th son, Yingqi. And Yingqi is also the most heroic among his many descendants, with a temperament and personality similar to him, unlike Feilu who is indecisive and has a corrupt image. It's not like Hu Hai's playful nature. Yingqi has been very decisive since childhood, with his own opinions and daring to think and act. Often able to make impressive moves. He is the most favored heir of Emperor Yingzheng. It's just a pity. This favored heir died in a big fire 3 years ago. Oh, the heavens are jealous of talents, but they have taken away my Qi'er. Yingzheng couldn't help but sigh again. Worries about the future of the Great Qin flashed across my eyebrows and eyes. In today's Kyushu, major forces are rampant. The coexistence of dynasties and martial arts forces. There are numerous dynasties including Qin, Sui, Tang, Ming, Yuan, Song, etc. Among them, the sharp warriors of the Great Qin dynasty were notorious and had fought throughout the world. Within the dynasty, there were also hundreds of schools of thought such as the Yin-Yang school, Confucianism, and Moism. The Xianxia army of the Great Tang dynasty crossed all directions, and Emperor Li Shimin of the Tang dynasty created the prosperous era of the Kaiyuan era. Within the dynasty, the people were prosperous and the country was strong, and there were even bad people led by the national teacher Yuan Tiangang. The Yuan Tai rode his horse across the 9 provinces, and his military peak once pointed directly beyond the 9 provinces. There were also top-notch forces in the martial arts world, such as Mingjiao, spread throughout the 4 directions, making him incredibly powerful. In this context, there are constant disputes within Kyushu, and countless conflicts between major forces. Now that he is in charge of the Great Qin dynasty, he is not afraid of any invasion from all directions. But what if he's not here? After the death of the 9th son, Yingqi, Yingzheng had no choice but to discover. Among his many descendants, there is surprisingly no one who can shoulder a great responsibility. Even if the young master Fu Susu has a wise reputation. But he was a corrupt scholar who even repeatedly petitioned the Great Qin to disband his army for the sake of people's livelihood. It's simply ridiculous. However, at this moment, the world suddenly shook. There are flashes of golden light in the sky outside the study. Shine the night like daylight. What happened? Why is heaven and earth changing? Yingzheng walked out of the palace while inquiring, with 2 guards closely following him. When they arrived outside the palace. But I saw an unforgettable scene that will last a lifetime. I saw a huge golden list lying across the sky and earth. Like a miracle. Jiuzhou Datang, Chang'an City. Tang Emperor Li Shimin was also awakened by a celestial anomaly and hurriedly walked out of his bedroom. The guards and concubines in the palace were all startled by the celestial vision. They walked out of their respective residences one after another. They looked at the golden list in surprise, not knowing what it was. Who can tell me what happened? Li Shimin looked around, but no one could answer his question. Daming Jianghu, Wudong Mountain. Zhang Sanfeng walked out of the secluded place with white hair and beard. He is the founder of Wudong Mountain, more than 200 years ago, and many people in the world rumor that he has been reincarnated. But I never expected him to survive to this day. At this moment, my eyes were slightly frozen as I looked towards the strange vision on that side. I can't figure it out, what exactly is that? It's such a big anomaly between heaven and earth. Zhang Sanfeng was greatly shocked. He only sensed a chilling aura from his calculations. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse. At this moment, the eyes of the entire Kyushu were drawn. Even if it's late at night at this moment. Still attracting countless attention. The lords of many dynasties, such as the Ming, Yuan, and Song dynasties, woke up from their slumber and came to the palace to witness the appearance of the golden list, feeling amazed in their hearts. They are actually extremely curious inside. I am eager to know what the golden chart in the sky is. Many forces in various rivers and lakes have also been greatly shaken. They all came together to explore the source of the gold list. But they all quickly came to a conclusion. That's why this gold list comes from the heavenly way. It cannot be created by human labor. On that day, the golden light scattered and shone brightly. The huge golden chart is slowly unfolding. Rows of text appear on the list. Kyushu is vast and boundless in the vast expanse of heaven and earth. Various major forces stand tall. Who is in charge of ups and downs? Therefore, the heavenly way will rank the forces of all sizes in Kyushu based on their strength, with the top 30 ranking on the gold list and receiving generous rewards. The leader of the faction will receive an additional reward. The golden list of Kyushu Supreme Forces is about to be released. Please pay attention to it. Looking at the lines of text appearing on the gold list. The world is amazed. This is the first time they have seen such a miracle. At the same time, these words also made them feel a little curious. The ultimate faction list. Can those on the list receive rewards? Everything on this gold list is intriguing. The next moment, the golden list in the sky began to vibrate, emitting bright lights. Subsequently, the text on the list disappeared. Transformed into another line of big characters and presented to the world. Ranked 30th on the Supreme Power list. Ihua Palace. P.S. The new book set sail, with the support of all the big shots. Chapter 2. Moving Flower Palace, Prince Qi of the 9th Prince of the Great Qin Dynasty. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. When the first force reaches the gold medal. The world was momentarily stunned. I couldn't react at once. Subsequently, a scene appeared on the gold list. That are 2 women who can be considered as peerless in the world. Among them, Inviting Moon has a petite figure, bright and agile eyes, and a touch of ethereal temperament on her body. Lianxing, on the other hand, has a waterfall-like black long hair that hangs at her waist, swaying with a light blue dress in the wind. However, the screen changed. A heroic and extraordinary man lazily leaned against the bench. His face was not very real, as if it had been blurred by the golden list screen, but even so, people could still see his extraordinary temperament from the tip of the iceberg in the picture. At this moment, he is propped up on his cheek with the back of his hand. Being served by 2 equally stunning women on earth. A person stretched out a pair of delicate white hands, gently kneading the shoulders of the man in the picture, and occasionally feeding a grape to his fair and slender fingers. One person squatted beside him and gently pounded his legs. At the same time, rows of large characters appear on the screen. Ranked 30th on the Supreme Power list. Ihua Palace. Reason for being on the list. The two palace lords, Xianxia inviting the moon, are the maidservants of Prince Qi, the 9th prince of the Great Qin Dynasty. Reward on the list. 1 purple spirit pill. Extra reward from the Lord of Forces. 10,000 years of stone bell milk. The ranking of the moving flower palace has been released. Many people in Kyushu started discussing as if they had been fried. Especially the reason why the Palace of Moving Flowers is on the list. It makes countless people dumbfounded. Just because the palace master is the maid of the 9th prince of the Great Qin Dynasty. Can we make it onto this Supreme Power Gold list? Many people have skeptical eyes and even believe that this so-called golden list may be created by Qin. Otherwise, how could even the power created by a prince or maid wait for the 30th place? Is this too fake? Isn't this golden list from the Great Qin Dynasty? TSK, the forces created by the Crown Prince and his maids can all rank 30th. Do you believe me? Many people spoke up one after another, questioning the golden list of the supreme power. The Great Qin Dynasty. Emperor Yingzheng stood outside the palace, staring blankly at the words and images in the sky. Although the man on the screen is very blurry and cannot be seen clearly. But he felt extremely familiar. Plus the tip of the gold list. He almost instantly recognized who the man on the screen was. It's his 9th son Yingqi. Yingzheng couldn't help but exclaim, Qi is still alive. Didn't he die in the fire 3 years ago? That big fire was his own experience. He also saw the body of Yiqigong Qi. These should be things that cannot be fake. But why did Gongzi Qi appear on the screen of the golden list? In an instant. Yingzheng, Longyan, was overjoyed and did not think about why young Master Qi wanted to feign death. As long as the other person is alive. Someone. Where is Zhao Gao? Where is Zhang Han? Yingzheng shouted loudly. Soon, these two high-ranking ministers arrived at the imperial palace of the Great Qin and met with the first emperor. The golden list screen shows that my son Qi is still alive. Now that you have laid hands on me, you must find Qi's trace. The first emperor shook his hand. Two high-ranking officials knelt down and took orders to leave. At this moment, the first emperor was overjoyed. He is feeling worried about the lack of successors for the Great Qin Dynasty. But he never expected that the gold medal would give him a big surprise. Qi is still alive. However, when his gaze turned again to the screen of the golden list, he couldn't help but curl up the corner of his mouth slightly and say. I don't know where Qi has been these years, but his life is quite fulfilling, and I don't know if he has given birth to a grandson or something for me. Yingzheng watched the screen of the golden list. I couldn't help but start thinking inside. Since Qi did not die in the fire 3 years ago. Why haven't they appeared in these years? Is there something unspeakable that cannot be achieved? Jiuzhou Datong, Chang'an City. Li Shimin stood outside the palace, frowning at the moment. Because the content exposed on the gold list was too surprising. He is unaware of the power of the flower-moving palace. Most likely it is a power in the rivers and lakes of other dynasties, with no connection to the Tang dynasty. But how vast the 9 provinces are. There are over 100 forces with names and surnames. If this flower-moving palace can rank in the top 30, it must have impressive strength. And its reason for being on the list is really a bit of a joke. Surprisingly, it was only because the two palace lords were the maidservants of Prince Qi, the 9th prince of the Great Qin Dynasty. How amazing is the power of this young Master Qi! How astonishing is the power of Daqin! He turned his gaze to a figure not far from his side. That is the great Tang national teacher, with remarkable cultivation strength, and also the person he trusts the most. Yuan Tiangang, do you think this gold list is true or false? Li Shimin asked. Yuan Tiangang immediately replied, Your Majesty, this list doesn't seem like manpower can do it. It should be true. Upon hearing this statement, Li Shimin also thinks it's right. But the reason why this moving flower palace is on the list. It's still a bit absurd. Daming, Wudong Mountain. Zhang Sanfeng squinted his eyes and looked at the text on the gold list. He has been in seclusion for many years and has long neglected worldly affairs. But he had no knowledge of the 9th prince of the Great Qin. Who is this prince of Qin? The power created by his maidservants can even rank 30th on the gold list. Zhang Sanfeng was filled with curiosity in his heart. I became interested in Prince Qi, the 9th prince of the Great Qin dynasty. I want to know who this really is. Surprisingly, even the power created by the maidservant can reach the 30th place on the golden list of the supreme power. Chapter 3. Empress Dowager Xian's solitary lament and seeking flowers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In Kue Pai. A thick black hair cascading down her waist like a waterfall, swaying gently with her steps. Her big eyes were as agile as water waves. Her cultivation of the heavenly demon Dharma has reached a bottleneck. Relying on hard work may not be able to break through. Then he pondered and wanted to come out for a walk. But I never expected to see the appearance of the golden list of the supreme power. When the figure of Xianxia appears in the screen. Her lips curled together, and her agile eyes were filled with melancholy, muttering. Okay, you heartless person. I told you where you've been over the years, not even a word. I used to be carefree and happy with 2 other little wave hooves outside, and I don't even remember me. She is a saint of the Yin Kuei sect, but she had a romantic relationship with a mysterious person many years ago. Although no one in the world knows about this matter. But in my heart, I can never forget that man. However, the man was like a stone sinking into the sea, unable to find anyone, and even had no news. But I never thought about it. Surprisingly, I saw the other party's image on the gold list. And also served by 2 stunning women. As soon as I thought of this, I couldn't help but feel angry. How could this heartless man have someone else serve him without asking me to? Am I not good enough? S. expression was extremely melancholic, and he had already developed the idea of temporarily leaving the Yin Kuei sect to search for the other party. The emperor steps on the peak, sailing with compassion and tranquility. Shifei Xian was dressed in a long robe, with a cold face, and her eyes were full of the meaning of being refined and refined. She was as elegant as a fairy, as if she didn't eat the smoke and fire of the world. However, at this moment, she was staring at the man on the gold chart screen with infatuation. Beiqi gently bit the corner of his lower lip, his expression also filled with melancholy. Where are you? Why haven't you come to see me for so many years? She spoke softly, but recognized who the person in the picture was. However, she did not know that the other party was the 9th prince of the Great Qin. I only know when I met him in the past. He claimed to be Gongzi Qi, standing on a solitary boat, sailing through the vast green mountains, with stars and a vast sea hidden in his eyes, a gaze that lasts for thousands of years. Remembering those things from the past. Shifei Xian's face flashed with a blush, and her head lowered deeply. If there were people here, it would be unimaginable. This ethereal fairy, who does not indulge in worldly pleasures, would even show such a posture. My master has ordered me to go down the mountain to stop the expansion of the demon sect's power. Will I meet you again? Shifei Xian whispered, and the light in her eyes was as gentle as water. At the foot of Tianshan Mountain. The figures of the distant mountains overlapped, and white clouds drifted around. A glance from afar seemed to calm one's heart. This place is sparsely populated, and most of the visitors are pilgrims. The 9th prince of the Great Qin, Yingqi, happened to come here with Lianxing inviting the moon. I just checked in at the inn. An anomaly appeared in the sky. A golden chart stands horizontally in the sky, bursting with brilliant light. Subsequently, the palace of moving flowers was exposed. At the same time, it also exposed Yingqi. When Yingqi saw his name and image on the gold list, he felt a bit speechless. He is a traveler. As soon as he crossed over, he became the 9th prince of the Great Qin dynasty. And also obtained the Golden Finger, a divine-level check.in system. This system will issue check.in locations at regular intervals. After arriving at the designated location and signing in, generous rewards will be issued. But as the Crown Prince of the Great Qin, it is completely impossible for him to travel around the world, even if he is willing. Emperor Yingzheng will not allow it. Because this is too dangerous. Although the identity of the 9th prince of the Great Qin brought great benefits to Yingqi, it also brought him some trouble. If he travels around various countries as the Crown Prince of the Great Qin, he may one day be assassinated by a certain dynasty. So he put in a lot of effort to create fake death. In order to escape from the Grand Qin Palace and be able to go to various places in Kyushu for check.in. I don't know how much effort was wasted in the beginning. This has deceived everyone, including his father, Emperor Yingzheng. But I never expected to be exposed today due to the power created by Lianxing and inviting moon. Yingqi had no choice but to look helplessly at the 2 stunning women behind him. Inviting the moon gives people a feeling of calmness like snow, with a dusty temperament, but their eyes are incredibly agile, as if ripples are rippling. These 2 unrelated things combine on her, but there is a unique beauty. Lianxing also has agile eyes, her appearance is no less attractive than that of the moon, and her appearance is even more beautiful. Both her demeanor and temperament give people a lively sense of youthfulness. She is also an unparalleled beauty. Among them, Lianxing grabbed Yingqi's arm and shook it, coquettishly saying, "Young master, I understand my mistake. At that time, this flower-moving palace was created by my sister and I before following you. We never intended to be in your favor and ranked 30th on the Supreme Power Gold list." Speaking of it, Lianxing was actually quite surprised. This flower-moving palace was created by them before following the young master, and they have not been in charge of it since following him. I never expected to make it to the list at this time. Exposed the identity of the young master. On the other hand, inviting moon also joined the team of coquettishness. For a while, Yingqi had to wave his hand and say, all right, it's not your fault for this. If you keep talking, my ears will be weak. P.S. Brother's support is the driving force behind the author's code writing. Chapter 4. Sign-in Rewards, 7 Dark Assassins. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. After Yingqi expressed that he did not blame the 2 people for everything, Lianxing and Inviting Moon both had a happy smile on their faces, and one of them started shaking one arm while holding on to Yingqi. Hee, thank you, young master. Young master is the best. Looking at the 2 of them, Yingqi was quite helpless and had no choice but to let them hold on to his hands. However, the appearance of the golden list did exceed his expectations. But it is not unacceptable. He has been traveling outside for 3 years and has obtained countless items through check.in. Now standing at the pinnacle of martial arts cultivation, no one in the world is likely to be his opponent. There are countless layouts in Kyushu. If exposed this time, it will be exposed. Anyway, the world only knows that he is the 9th prince of the Great Qin, Gongzi Qi, and will not know any other identity. Lianxing invites the moon, you 2 will stay at this inn first, and I will go back as soon as I go. After bringing the 2 into the inn, Yingqi suddenly said. The 2 of Lianxing's invitation to the moon have seen no strange things. It seems that the young master always goes out on his own whenever he goes to a place. They were used to it and nodded before saying anything more. After all, they were just maids, and asking too many questions did not fit the identity of a maid. Yingqi also took a step towards the Tianshan Mountains. Between the magnificent Tianshan Mountains, the towering peaks here stretch endlessly, many of which stand on top of the white clouds, ethereal, as if those high places are unbearable in the cold. At this moment, a figure jumped between the mountains. Or rather, it's flying. At this moment, even heaven and earth should be shocked. And that figure is Yingqi. In today's world of comprehensive martial arts, the martial arts system is strictly divided, with rules and standards already in place, and there is a detailed division of martial artists in different strength stages. The division of martial arts realm is as follows. Not entering the mainstream, third rate, second rate, first class, acquired, innate, master, great master, heavenly, inhuman, martial arts mythology. Looking at the world, he can be called a martial arts expert from birth. And the realm of great masters and great masters is an unattainable realm for ordinary people, and in any dynasty, it is a guest of honor. As for the future heaven and humanity, this realm is beyond the reach of ordinary people and possesses an unpredictable power. One person can defeat 10,000 armies, which is why he was called the Heavenly Man. There are not many people in the entire Kyushu Jianghu. As for the myth of martial arts, that is even more unimaginable, and many people believe that this is just a conjecture, but in reality, there is no such realm. However, Yingqi can tell these people. The myth of martial arts is not a conjecture. Because he is a person in this realm, he can even have the power to influence the celestial phenomena with his every move, even relying on inner strength to fly. Soon, he has reached the peak of the main peak of Tianshan Mountain. White snow drifts around this place year-round, turning the summit into a snow-white expanse, like that sacred realm. Looking down, it feels like stepping on the mountains. However, Yingqi did not come here to see the scenery. He silently recited the word sign in his heart. Congratulations to the host for successfully checking in at Tianshan. Reward Faction. Shadow Assassin Organization, note. Each reward faction member will be fused with a memory related to the host and be 100% loyal to the host. See this reward. A hint of surprise flashed in Yingqi's eyes. This is still his first time signing in to gain influence. The previous rewards were mainly various natural resources, earth treasures, and weapon treasures. Is all of this caused by the appearance of the golden list? Think of it here. Yingqi couldn't help but look at the golden list in the sky with suspicion. And if the Shadow Assassin Organization remembers correctly, it doesn't seem to match this world. At this moment, 7 figures appeared out of thin air, all kneeling in front of him, each carrying a towering evil energy. It is truly the 7 dark assassins. Goodbye, young master. 7 people knelt on one knee, speaking in unison, their eyes filled with enthusiasm for Yingqi. Winning chi swept over the 7 people in front of him. Unable to help but start pondering, this attendance reward caught him off guard. Now he doesn't need to do anything else besides rushing to various places to sign in. After thinking for a moment, he said, "You 7 can go to the Great Qin Dynasty to form the Shadow Assassins organization and act freely. But remember not to harm the people of Daqin. If I have anything to do, I will notify you." Yes. 7 figures took command together and disappeared in an instant, all mastering the technique of coming and going without a trace. Yingqi looked at the place where the 7 people had disappeared and pondered, saying, 7 top masters, surprisingly, gave them influence after signing in. But that's good, it's also convenient for me to plan some things later. In 15 minutes. Yingqi returned to the foot of the Tianshan Mountains once again. Lianqing and Inviting Moon walked with jade steps, as if they contained infinite charm in their every move. But at this moment, they were holding a jade bottle and saying, "Young master, This is the 10,000-year stone bell milk given to us by the Golden List. Please accept it, young master. 10,000-year stalactites. Yingqi was slightly taken aback, not expecting Lianxing and inviting Moon to have such thoughts, but he didn't need them. So he chuckled lightly and said, "You too can keep this thing, you don't need to give it to me." But Lianxing invited the Moon and the two of them to glance at each other, still hoping to win the eternal stalactites first. Because if it weren't for the young master saving them back then, they probably wouldn't be standing here alive now, and it's not impossible for them to encounter anything non-human. And this 10,000-year stone stalactite is a reward on the gold list. Extremely extraordinary, it has extraordinary effects that can boost a person's skill for 10 years, and has a miraculous effect in treating internal injuries. They wanted to repay some kindness with this. Upon seeing this, Yingqi waved his hand and smiled, saying, "Although these 10,000-year stone stalactites have miraculous effects, they no longer have much effect on me. You too can keep them. Actually, Yingqi has another thing to say. That's why since he obtained the divine level check that IN system, whether it's heavenly materials, earthly treasures, or pills and weapons. He manages everything, and the quality is not inferior to that of a 1,000-year-old stalactite. So the stone stalactites of 10,000 years have no effect on him." Chapter 5. Peach Blossom Island of the Great Song Dynasty, Emperor Huang seeks longevity. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Supreme Power ranking 29th, Taohua Island of the Great Song Dynasty. Suddenly, the golden chart in the sky sparkles with light. Unexpectedly, another new force on the list was quickly exposed. For Peach Blossom Island. Not many people know about the entire Kyushu region. But in the Song Dynasty, both the court and the martial arts world have heard of this force. Peach Blossom Island. Is this the overseas force? It seems that the island owner Huang has an unfathomable cultivation. The eastern evil and western poison, the divine power of the southern emperor and northern beggar, this yellow old evil is one of the eastern evil. People are all discussing Peach Blossom Island. Strictly speaking, Peach Blossom Island is not considered a force. He doesn't have many people, except for Huang only his daughter Huang Rong and a few apprentices who have already graduated. But perhaps it is precisely because of these reasons. Taohua Island only ranks 29th on the golden list of supreme forces. Otherwise, with Dongxia's abilities, perhaps he could still advance a few more places. Just as the world is discussing, a scene appeared on the gold list. In the picture, there is a solitary island standing on the endless sea. On the isolated island, there are peach blossoms blooming all over the mountain. When a gentle sea breeze blows, it feels as if the entire island is swaying. At first glance, it looked like a strange sight on the sea. It is unforgettable to leave. Such a beautiful scenery has attracted countless people to sigh in their hearts. People know that it is the newly announced Peach Blossom Island, located outside the East China Sea. Is this Peach Blossom Island? The scenery is indeed beautiful, and standing on the sea has a unique charm. Huang is really good at picking places and choosing his place of seclusion here. Everyone in Kyushu is discussing it one after another. Of course, the person with the most discussion still comes from the Great Song Dynasty. Because although Taohua Island lived in seclusion overseas, it was still a powerful force in the Song Dynasty's martial arts world. And Huang also carried a very prosperous reputation in the Song Dynasty's martial arts world. In the world of the Song Dynasty, the 5 wonders represent a pinnacle, and each of these 5 individuals has already reached the realm of martial arts. Among them, Huang is also the eastern evil among the 5 wonders, and his character is both righteous and evil. People in the Song Dynasty's martial arts world can't do without paying attention. The scene zooms into Peach Blossom Island. A tall and dignified middle-aged man is holding a little girl. The little girl was wearing a yellow shirt, with a pair of agile big eyes shining like gemstones. Although young, the world has already seen the shadow of a beautiful country and a beautiful woman. The next moment, the Golden List announced the reasons for Taohua Island's inclusion. Reason for being on the list. The East China Sea is close to the isolated island of Zhejiang and Zhoushan, a place where strange people live in seclusion. Created by Dongxia, one of the 5 wonders of the martial arts of the Great Song Dynasty, he has extraordinary martial arts skills and has reached the realm of martial arts cultivation. Although there are not many disciples in the sect, they are not weak and proficient in various directions of martial arts. There are countless unique skills on the island, including martial arts and mental techniques, as well as unique ways to escape armored reward on the list. 1 heart-protecting pill. Extra reward from the Lord of Forces. Longevity skill. The Great Qin Dynasty, Xianxia Palace. Yingzheng squinted his eyes and kept staring at the gold list. Since it was revealed on the gold list that his 9th son, Prince Qi, had not died. He is very concerned about the gold list and has hardly moved his gaze to this day. I have never heard of the power of the martial arts world of the Great Song Dynasty, the first emperor murmured softly. The Great Song Dynasty is also an extremely powerful dynasty today. Just because it doesn't border with Daqin. Yingzheng doesn't know much about the rivers and lakes there. At this point, Xianxia, who was standing by, spoke up and said, "Your Majesty is unaware that Peach Blossom Island is actually normal. This force is hiding outside the Great Song Dynasty and rarely sets foot in the Central Plains, so it is not well known in other places." I see. Yingzheng nodded lightly upon hearing the words. So, it's no wonder he hasn't heard of the name Peach Blossom Island. He manages countless tasks every day. There are countless national affairs that need to be dealt with, and there is not much leisure to deal with them. But when he saw the reward received by the owner of Peach Blossom Island, the whole person's momentum changed instantly, like an eagle staring at its prey. Yingzheng looked at the Prime Minister beside him and said, "Lizi, how do you view this longevity achievement?" At this moment, he kept his eyes fixed on the gold list, paying particular attention to the 3 words, longevity achievement, on the list. Li Si quickly replied, "Your Majesty, according to the description on the golden list, this cultivation method has the effect of prolonging life." Indeed, that's true. Yingzheng nodded slightly. It is precisely because this method has the effect of prolonging life that he pays special attention to it. And Li Si continued to say, "This is a gift from the golden list, and its effectiveness is not inferior. If an ordinary person practices, they may also be able to extend their lifespan by a few years. If someone has a high talent in martial arts, extending their lifespan by 10 or 20 years is not a problem." To be honest, he now understands what Yingzheng means. I think I have also been thinking about this longevity skill. As expected. Yingzheng shook his hand with a majestic expression and said, "Lise, no matter what price I pay, I will see this longevity achievement in 7 days." Yes. Li Si lowered his head and accepted the order, then withdrew from the arrangement arranged by the palace general. Yingzheng still looked at the gold list. He has an obsession with immortality and has sought out many alchemists over the years to refine the elixir of immortality. But so far, it has not been successful. Now the golden list is in the world. But it gave him another way. P.S. If you have any questions, feel free to communicate at any time. Chapter 6. Slipping out of Peach Blossom Island, seeking flowers. Seeking harvest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Great Song Dynasty, Imperial Palace. Emperor Zhao Kuanyin of the Great Song Dynasty looked at the golden list in the sky with interest. This gold list is really interesting. I can't believe that the second one to make it is from the power of the Song Dynasty's martial arts world. When the golden list first appeared, he walked out of the dormitory in shock, feeling that the vision would never be forgotten. When the Flower Palace was listed, he was very unhappy and believed that the Golden List was created by the great Qin dynasty. Otherwise, how could it be that just because the head of power is the maid of the Crown Prince of Qin, she has climbed to the 30th place on the gold list? But when the second force comes out, Zhao Kuanyin was quite happy in his heart, completely forgetting his doubts and accusations just now. Although the influence of the Song dynasty's martial arts world is not closely related to him, but that's also the realm of the Song dynasty. It can be said that it gave him a big boost. Prime Minister, it is gratifying to see that our Song dynasty has taken the lead in making the list, Zhao Kuanyin said with a smile. That's natural. The strength of our Song dynasty should rank first among the major dynasties, and there will be more and more Song powers on the list in the future. The Prime Minister's voice was resounding and powerful, with a confident tone in his words. Obviously, he is also very proud of the fact that the power of the Song dynasty's martial arts world took the lead in making the list. The Song, Xuanzhan Sect. Xuanzhan Taoism has always been known as the leader of Taoism in the Song dynasty. Created by Wang Chongyang, one of the 5 wonders of China, it has an extraordinary power. It's Huang Loxi. I didn't expect his Peach Blossom Island to also be on the list. Don't worry, I will definitely be at the forefront of Xuanzhan education. Although this Eastern evil has some things, it still cannot compare to Master. Xuanzhan Chizi watched the screen of the Golden List and kept discussing. Wang Chongyang and Huang Loxi are both among the 5 wonders of the great Song dynasty. It is said that literature has no first and no second martial arts. They naturally distinguish between high and low. Overseas, Peach Blossom Island. This island is located outside the East China Sea and is very remote, so ordinary people may not be able to find it here. However, there are strange people on the island. Now it is even more famous in Kyushu. At this moment on the island, Huang Rong is just a young girl in her 20s, not tall but very slim in stature. Her big eyes flickered like gemstones, giving people a bright and moving feeling. And she carried a sense of spirituality that only girls have, as if she was bouncing up and down as she walked. Dad! Our Peach Blossom Island has also made it to the gold list. Huang Rong walked bouncing up and down, looking very happy. Huang Loxi saw his daughter. A hint of tenderness flashed on his serious face, and he said, "Got it, it's just about being on the list, it's a big fuss." Actually, Huang Loxi believes that the Golden List has been ranked lower than Peach Blossom Island. Although he doesn't have many disciples on Peach Blossom Island, as long as he is there, he can form his own sect, and there are many unique skills on the island. Unexpectedly, it was only ranked 29th. Dad, the 29th place is very good. Look at the gold list and give me a reward. Huang Rong muttered and then revealed the elixir given by the Power Gold List. This pill is called Heart Protecting Pill. Its effectiveness is astonishing, it can save a person's life when they are on the brink of death. It is a true life-saving pill, very precious. However, Huang Rong did not intend to keep it for herself, but rather wanted to hand it over to Brother Qi. Thinking of this Qi elder brother, Huang Rong's face couldn't help but flash a slight blush, with a smile on her eyebrows. More than 2 years ago, she sneaked out of Peach Blossom Island for the first time and came to the central plains of Kyushu. But never thought of encountering a criminal. At that time, she was still visiting a place outside Peach Blossom Island for the first time, and even though she had all her skills in the unfamiliar environment, she was unable to exert them in fear. Finally, Brother Qi saved her. He took her to visit a famous fairy mountain in the Song dynasty, bought her tomatoes on sticks and took her to see the scenery. At this moment, Huang Rong has secretly made up her mind. I will definitely sneak out again and go to the central plains of Jojo to find my brother Qi. Although this Peach Blossom Island has beautiful scenery. The island is covered with peach blossoms and is a holy land in the eyes of outsiders. However, how could a lively girl like her be able to stay here? I've been staying until I'm bored. On the other side. Huang thought for a moment and thought so. It's already very good to be on the golden list of supreme forces. After all, in today's Kyushu world, there are many powerful forces such as Wudong, Shaolin, Tianmen, and Luo Wang that cannot be underestimated. He has no more than 10 disciples from all his disciples on Peach Blossom Island. Ranking 29th is indeed acceptable. At this point, he seemed to have remembered something and took out his heart-protecting pill as well. Hand it over to Huang Rong. Ronger, my father's martial arts have long been superb. This pill doesn't have much effect on me. You keep it safe, and if there are any accidents in the future, it can also save my life. Huang looked at his daughter with great indulgence. Since his wife passed away, he placed all his heart and soul on his daughter, and at this moment, he even handed over his heart guard to Huang Rong. However, he did not know. My beloved daughter is already planning in her heart. How can we sneak out of Peach Blossom Island and head to the central plains of Kyushu later? Go find her elder brother Qi. And he also needs to give the pill he just handed over to Ingqi together. If he knew. I'm afraid I'll vomit blood in anger. I can't imagine the cabbage that I have taken so many years of careful care of. Unexpectedly, someone had already deceived me before I knew it. Chapter 7. Rather provoke the King of Yen than the Tang Clan Lang. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Time passes quickly. In the early morning, the sky was just beginning to dawn. Huang Rong sneaked out of the house with a thief-like appearance. I occasionally look at Huang Loxi's house. It was only when there was no movement that I felt relieved. I'm not staying on Peach Blossom Island. I'm going to the Central Plains to find my brother Qi. She muttered, without any attachment to Peach Blossom Island, only wanting to go to the Central Plains of Kyushu to find Ingqi. This Peach Blossom Island is not fun at all. There is no fun in Central Plains at all, and most importantly, brother Qi is no longer around. Huang Rong misses the days when he and Ingqi were in the Central Plains. So she arrived at the edge of the island with ease and familiarity. I found a small boat and jumped onto it. Using internal skills, we drove away from Peach Blossom Island. When Huang Loxi discovered it, it was already the morning of the next day. At the foot of Tianshan Mountain, there is an inn. Although this place is at the foot of the mountain, it is already shrouded in mist in the early morning, making people feel as if they are in a fairyland. Peach Blossom Island, is it the power of Huang Loxi? It seems that Huang Rong is also here, and I don't know how this little guy is doing after a couple of years. Ingqi looked at the text on the golden list on the horizon and couldn't help but chuckle. Initially, the system released a new Check.in location. Located within the territory of the Great Song Dynasty. Unexpectedly, as I passed by, I met Huang Rong, who had not yet delved into the world. Although Huang Rong has achieved remarkable martial arts skills under the guidance of Huang Loxi. However, as a young girl, when did she face such fierce scenes? The whole person was suddenly frightened and even forgot to resist. So he took action to save Huang Rong. After arriving at the Check.in location and receiving the reward, he took Huang Rong to visit the boundaries of the Song Dynasty and also visited many places. After all, the time when the divine level Check.in system releases the Check.in location is not fixed. It's not like completing one immediately leads to the next. Sometimes there may be a gap of 10.5 days between two check-ins. And the time left in the middle. In addition to digesting rewards, Ingqi is usually used to appreciate the scenery of mountains and rivers. At this point, Lianxing and Inviting Moon walked up separately. Among them, Lianxing curiously asked, "Young master, why are you so concerned about this gold list? Is it because this power is related to young master?" In recent years, she followed the young master with her sister's invitation to the moon. I have witnessed too many extraordinary aspects of the young master. Even to this day, they still feel that the young master is incredibly mysterious and possesses profound abilities. Hear Lianxing's words. Yingqi chuckled lightly and said, Peach Blossom Island has nothing to do with me, it's just that one of them is familiar with me. To this day. Yingqi remembered the little girl Huang. I still remember the other person's liveliness, cuteness, and distinct personality. Of course. The two of Lianxing and Zhaoyue beside him were equally matched. Ranked 28th on the Supreme Power list. Tang Clan of the Great Tang Dynasty. The golden chart on the horizon flickered with light, once again exposing a new force. And this force is Tang Men. The Tang clan is well known throughout the central plains of the 9 provinces, and is well known to all major dynasties. Because the existence nature of this sect is very special. It even collaborated with multiple dynasties, often providing items such as hidden weapons and mechanism creations, equivalent to a weapons dealer. However, this also made the Tang men wealthy and famous throughout the world. So when its name appeared on the gold list, it immediately aroused the exclamation and attention of countless people. Even the heads of major dynasties were moved. The Tang clan in Sichuan has been wandering the rivers and lakes for hundreds of years, renowned for its mechanisms, poison, and hidden weapons. There is a saying that the needles, feathers, thorns and 10 fingers lead each other, and the sky and the earth are moving in rainstorm. There is still a saying circulating in the martial arts world. It is better to meet the king of Yen than to provoke the Tang Clan Lang. The martial arts of Tang's sect disciples may not be very strong, but their killing power far exceeds that of ordinary martial arts experts, appearing with rows of large characters. Images also surfaced on the gold list. This picture showcases a slight appearance of the Tang clan, a behemoth that has attracted worldwide attention. Because Tang men is really very famous. The martial arts of this sect may not be very strong. But as mentioned in the golden list, the reasons for being on the list are the same. Tang sect disciples have never been strong in martial arts. But rather the use of various hidden weapons, poisons, and mechanism techniques. I once met a Tang sect disciple. Although his martial arts cultivation was not high, he was really difficult to deal with. Unfortunately, the martial arts cultivation of Tang sect disciples is too low, otherwise they wouldn't have been ranked 28th. Yes, the Tang clan has a huge influence and many disciples under it. People all agree with what the golden list says. Tang Menxiang has never been skilled in martial arts. But rather their eerie and elusive hidden weapon techniques. The Tang Dynasty, Chang'an City. This city has always been known as Shangjing and is also the capital of the Tang Dynasty. At this moment, in the imperial palace of Chang'an City, Li Shimin smiled and said to the unscrupulous handsome, nowadays, there are also forces in our Tang Dynasty who are on the list. However, I never expected that the Tang sect could only rank 28th. Tang men is a power in the Tang Dynasty's martial arts world. And it has a great influence, ranking among the top in the entire Tang Dynasty martial arts world. Unexpectedly, it can only rank 28th on the Supreme Power Gold list. The high content of the gold list is evident. But Li Shimin was confused again. Since the content of the gold list is so high, why would the first force to make it to the list be the Flower Palace? The most important reason for being on the list of the Flower Moving Palace is that the 2 palace lords are the maids of a certain prince of the Great Qin dynasty. Li Shimin was puzzled by the solution. P.S. Thank you all for your great support. Chapter 8. The highest realm of hidden weapons, Thousand Hands. Seeking. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Your Majesty, although the Tang clan has a huge influence, its own martial arts background is not sufficient, and it is not surprising that it ranks 28th on the gold list. The bad handsome stood motionless on one side. But it revealed the reason behind it. However, he was also somewhat surprised as he did not expect the huge Tang sect to only rank 28th. After thinking for a moment, Li Shimin nodded and said, You're right, but suddenly I'm looking forward to this golden list. I don't know what your majesty is looking forward to, asked the unscrupulous handsome. Li Shimin said, looking forward to the rankings in the future. For example, who will be the first and second power on the real gold list? Do you think it will be my Tang Dynasty power? Upon hearing the words, the bad handsome knelt down on one knee. His voice was heavy and powerful, with a certain level of confidence. Your Majesty, rest assured that I am a powerful villain in the Tang Dynasty. Although I am ranked first, I am still capable of ranking in the top 3 in Zhozhou. Okay, I am very relieved that you can say so, Yiqing. Tang Emperor Li Shimin laughed heartily, clearly quite confident in his own power in the Tang Dynasty. The Great Qin Dynasty, the Mahist School. Although the Mahist School was a powerful force in the martial arts world of the Great Qin Dynasty, it had a long-standing feud with the court, specifically with the founding emperor. That is, the Lord of the Great Qin. However, the famous technique of the Mahist School has similarities with the Tang Clan, which is now on the list. The Mahist School is also famous for its mechanical skills in the 9 provinces, even occupying a place among the various schools of thought. The 3 things that Tang men are most skilled at are hidden weapons, poison, and mechanism techniques. It is said that literature has no first and no second martial arts. This is also true in mechanical techniques. After seeing Tang men on the list, many disciples of the Mahist school were quite angry because the Mahist school's mechanism skills were obviously stronger. They specialize in this field and believe they are far stronger than the Tang clan. At this point, a senior member of the Mahist school spoke up and said, "You don't need to compare yourself with the Tang men. It's a good thing that our Mahist school is still not on the list at this time." What does this mean? A group of Mahist disciples were puzzled and did not understand the meaning behind this elder's words. They think that the Tang men have all made it to the list, while the Mahists have not. Isn't this indicating that the Mahist school is not as good as others? The elder of the Mahist school continued, "Tang men is only ranked 28th, and our Mahist school naturally won't stop here, so why do we go to Tang men to argue?" After hearing these words, the disciples of the Mahist school all showed a sudden realization. That's right. Their ranking on the gold list should be higher. Why bother to argue with Tang men? Tang men. The head of the Tang clan, Tang Xue, looked at the words on the gold list and felt a deep sigh in her heart. Recalling some past events. If I hadn't met the young master back then, I'm afraid the Tang clan would have been destroyed long ago. How could it have been as strong as it is today? I just don't know where the young master is still today. When did it happen? Due to the characteristics of the sect, Tang men was besieged by various forces. At that time, various forces could not tolerate the existence of the Tang clan. Because they are not very skilled in martial arts, but very difficult to deal with, they have world-renowned poison and hidden weapon techniques, and also master some mechanism techniques. Many experts have died at the hands of the Tang sect. Such forces are not tolerated by all parties and almost all stand on the opposite side. At that time, the power of the Tang clan was far less powerful than it is today. Overall, it is much weaker. After the death of the previous sect leader Tang Kuan, Tang Xue took over the position of sect leader. The Tang clan is in a precarious situation and is in danger of being completely destroyed at any time. At this moment, the young master suddenly appeared. Leading the Tang clan to cooperate with major dynasties, selling mechanism and technique products, as well as some poison and hidden weapons. In this way, the Tang clan has connections with various dynasties, and the vast rivers and lakes dare not attack the Tang clan again. So there was the strength of the Tang clan today. Afterwards, Tang Xue was impressed by the young master's wisdom and methods, and willingly turned into a dog and horse to follow around. Unfortunately, the young master only shook his head at that time. Just say she stays in Tang men well. We will meet again in the future. But now almost 3 years have passed. Tang Xue was also unable to seeing Qi again, feeling extremely regretful in her heart. She looked at the huge Tang clan. I deeply understand that without the presence of the young master, the Tang clan may have been completely wiped out long ago. Tang men can achieve what it is today. All rely on the young master. At this point, the text on the gold list has once again transformed, revealing the rewards for Tangmen's inclusion in the list. Reward on the list. Xianxia Intermediate Lightness Skill. Stepping on snow without a trace. Extra reward from the Lord of Forces. Hidden Weapon Technique Thousand Hand Shura. When this reward appears, many people's eyes are about to stare straight. That lightness skill has reached the intermediate level of the Xianxia, and can also be ranked among the top in the world's martial arts. If Tang Sect disciples obtain such lightness skills, coupled with their hidden weapon techniques, the overall strength of the Tang clan may need to be further enhanced. And the thousand-hand Shura of the latter is even more heart-stopping. After achieving great success in this work, surprisingly, it is possible to reach the highest level of legendary hidden weapon techniques. 1,000 hands. Ordinary people who can reach 10 hands are already skilled in hidden weapons, comparable to martial arts masters. And the realm of 100 hands is enough to rival even a great master, and there is currently no one in the entire Tang sect who has reached this level. However, Qianshou in Tangmen's understanding, this is completely an imagined realm. Believing that the achiever can be compared to the existence above the great master of martial arts. Chapter 9. The Great Ming Divine Dragon Sect, Su Kuei, the peerless beauty of the human world. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The 27th place on the golden list of supreme forces. Daming Divine Dragon Sect. Daming Shenlong Sect, does this seem to be an evil sect? The number of people in the Divine Dragon Sect is quite large, over 10,000, but most of them are just a few experts, just a few of them. Speaking of which, there has been no movement in the Divine Dragon Sect in recent days, and I don't know what it's doing. I heard that there is a lady in the Divine Dragon Sect who can be considered a peerless beauty on earth, but I don't know if it's true or false. People have been discussing and many have mentioned the lady of the Divine Dragon Sect. This lady is quite remarkable. Not only does she have a beautiful appearance like a fairy, but it is said that her martial arts cultivation is also not bad. Reason for being on the list. After the sect leader Su Kuei took office, he rectified the atmosphere within the sect, cultivated a large number of experts, and could also occupy a place in the vast Ming Dynasty world. Master Su Kuei himself possesses unexpected strength, reaching the pinnacle of great master's strength as the big characters come to an end. The golden list also unfolded a picture like a scroll. That is also an island, but it is bustling with people coming and going. A figure in red stood on the edge of the island, with long black hair flowing down like a waterfall, and skin as white as a snowy mountain. At this moment, she was staring foolishly at the boundless sea before her, and the sea breeze brushed against her clothes, gently fluttering. Although there is only one silhouette, people are still amazed by it. Isn't the leader of the Divine Dragon Sect Huang? Why was there another person? I know this new leader is the lady of the Divine Dragon Sect. I didn't expect her to actually control the Divine Dragon Sect. What about Huang? Is he dead? The world is full of discussions, and the people in the Ming Dynasty are even more surprised and surprised. Because the former leader of the Divine Dragon Sect, Huang, is well known in the Ming Dynasty. However, now that the Divine Dragon Sect is on the list, its presence is nowhere to be seen. On the contrary, Su Kuei became the leader of the Divine Dragon Sect, and even made the Divine Dragon Sect ascend to the 27th place on the Power Gold list. Daming Palace. Emperor Zhu Hozhao of the Ming Dynasty was sitting on the main hall with a courtier, facing the image appearing on the gold medal. He was amazed and said, "The leader of the Divine Dragon Sect is actually a peerless figure in the world. Even the many concubines in my harem may not be able to match her." although this divine dragon sect is his great Ming influence. But he never heard of it, let alone knew that the leader of the divine dragon sect would be a peerless figure in the world. It was unexpected. Uncle Huang, can you tell me about this divine dragon sect? Zhu Hozhao turned his gaze to the tall man beside him. The more he was in his 40s, the more righteous and upright he was, and upon closer inspection, he could even discern a sense of selflessness. This person is ignored by Ho Zhu, the iron gallbladder god of the Ming dynasty. At the same time, he is also his imperial uncle who is loyal to the Ming dynasty and controls the power of Hulong Mountain Villa. He has extensive contact and understanding of the forces in the Ming dynasty's martial arts world. Zhu ignored the previous step and replied. Your Majesty, this divine dragon sect was not a well-known force before, and I am not familiar with it either. Although the divine dragon sect has over 10,000 followers, it has always dominated the island and its influence among the Ming dynasty is not particularly significant. So he didn't pay much attention. After hesitating for a moment, Zhu Hozhao spoke up and said, Uncle Huang, why don't you send someone to negotiate with the divine dragon sect and see if it is willing to submit to our Ming royal family? Yes. The iron gallbladder god Ho Zhu ignored and didn't say much, and with a bow of his hand, he ordered the matter to proceed. Actually, Emperor Zhu Hozhao of the Ming dynasty actually had ambitions. He also had the idea of unifying the Ming martial arts world and making these martial arts people follow his commands. Although this divine dragon sect is not very powerful, at least it is also a power on the list, and it must have certain abilities. Conquering it will also be beneficial. The most important thing is Su Kuei, the leader of the divine dragon sect, who is as beautiful as a celestial being. Daming, Mingjiao. Zhang Wuji, who had just ascended to the position of sect leader, looked at the stunning woman on the screen and was also amazed in his heart. There are such people in the world. The woman on this screen appears to be quite skillful, and even with her body, she has made the divine dragon sect top the list. He was surprised because throughout the entire Kyushu world, there are very few female leaders of power, only a few. Moreover, it is truly surprising that with the help of women, their influence has climbed to the top of the charts. The Great Qin Dynasty, Xianyang Palace. Emperor Yingzheng's expression remained unchanged as he watched each scene on the screen. It's just a martial arts force from the Ming dynasty. It's not that important. After his reign in the Qin dynasty, there will inevitably be many forces on the list. So this time, Yingzheng only glanced at the gold list and stopped paying attention, but turned his gaze to Zhao Gao. Zhao Gao, how have you been inquiring about my son's whereabouts? Zhao Gao took a step forward and knelt down, saying, Your Majesty, your hands have already been scattered. I believe there will be the whereabouts of the 9th prince soon. Okay, make sure to get the person back to me as soon as possible. Emperor Yingzheng shook his hand and was already eager to see his 9th son. After all, Yingqi is the most similar to him in terms of personality, brave and decisive, daring to take action, and is the most suitable candidate for succession. There is a world of difference between him and his corrupt eldest son, Feilu. I don't know how many times stronger it is. P.S. If you have any questions, feel free to leave more messages. Chapter 10. Yiqigong, New Sign in Location, Request. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Shenlong Island. This is the main altar of the Divine Dragon Sect, located near the sea east of the Ming Dynasty. The environment on the island is comfortable and suitable for living, so it has been selected as the main altar of the Divine Dragon Sect. At this moment on the island, a woman seems to be peerless and isolated. She has a charming appearance, dressed in a red long shirt, with picturesque eyebrows and eyes. Her large eyes blink lightly as if looking forward to shining, and her bright red lips give a feeling of drooling. This person is the leader of the Divine Dragon Sect. Su Quan. She stood by the seaside, gazing at the rippling sea and the golden chart in the sky, her thoughts gradually drifting out of her mind. "Qi Gu, where have you been these years? Why haven't you come back to find me? I have followed your instructions and made Shenlong Island look like it is today, even ranking on the gold list. But when will I see you again?" Sukue whispered, her eyes filled with memories of the past, and her mind was imprinted with an unforgettable figure. Back then, she was kidnapped by Hong Antong to Shenlong Island. Just about to be tempted to do something wrong. It was Qi Gu who appeared in time and saved her from being poisoned. And after that, he taught her some martial arts and mental techniques, and accompanied her through a period of time on Shenlong Island. Before leaving, Qi Gu instructed her to lead the growth of Shenlong Island well, and there will be a day when we meet again in the future. 2 years have passed now. I don't know when the day we meet again will be. If Brother Qi hasn't appeared yet. Sukue even planned to give up the Divine Dragon Sect and go alone to the central plains of Kyushu to search for him. At this moment, a few words appeared on the sky's golden list, announcing the rewards for the inclusion of the Divine Dragon Sect on the list. Reward on the list. 1 Xianxia Intermediate Qingxin Pill. Power Master Su Kue's Extra Reward. Xian Level Ultimate Fame Qigong. Qingxin Pill. The gold medal actually rewards this thing, it's not easy to refine. Yeah, while practicing martial arts, there is often a risk of getting demonic, and the Qingxin pill can effectively prevent such incidents from happening. However, Su Kue's reward is not bad either. It is actually an internal skill that can combine intention with qi. I'm afraid her strength will greatly increase. People all over the world are constantly discussing and eagerly anticipating these rewards. The Qingxin pill is extremely difficult to refine, even those skilled martial artists in the martial arts world do not have a single one. As for the latter, Yiqigong. This is a divine skill that can combine people's thoughts and qi, although its miraculous aspect cannot compare to the longevity skill of Taohua Island before. But it can make a person's strength soar. If an innate master cultivates Yiqigong, he may be able to compete with an ordinary martial arts master. Daming, Hulong Mountain Villa. Shen Ho Zhu ignored and immediately brought Tianzi No. 1 Duan Tianya back here. Duan Tianya is one of the most powerful experts in Hulong Mountain Villa, and also his adopted son, who is his most loyal subordinate. Tianya, go to Shenlong Island and see if the Shenlong cult is willing to submit to our Ming royal family. If not, then you can seize Yiqigong. Zhu ignored the fierce light in his eyes. That Yiqigong is very extraordinary. If he can obtain it, he will definitely be able to take another step forward in the martial arts world, and it is not impossible for him to completely step into the realm of the great master. Obey me. Duan Tianya was ordered to leave without any nonsense. Shenlong Island. The figures on the island were shapely, and many places exclaimed in surprise, because that Qingxin pill was a treasure that even martial arts experts couldn't desire. With this pill in place, they can almost practice with peace of mind. Don't worry about the danger of getting possessed by fire. Master Su Kue also had a Dharma book in his hand, which was Yiqigong. This is a reward item on the Heavenly Way Golden List. It can only be used once for enlightenment and cannot be passed on externally. She just doesn't intend to use it. But I was thinking of waiting to give this item to Brother Qi in the future as a reunion gift. But at this moment, her eyes were a bit sad, like a wronged little daughter. Law. Because when the golden list first appeared, she also recognized Ingqi on the screen, who was actually being served by 2 other little fairies. She's really angry. I wish I could replace the woman in the picture with myself. At the foot of Tian Shan Mountain. At this moment, shortly after dawn, the clouds and mist on the mountain had not yet dissipated. If you look at those mountains, they look more like towering fairy mountains. Ingqi and Lianxing invited the 2 of them to leave the inn. When he saw the dragon cult mentioned on the golden list. With a gentle smile, I couldn't help but think to myself. I don't know what's going on with Su Kue, but it seems that she has put in a lot of effort to manage the Divine Dragon Sect and even made it to the top of the list. Speaking of Su Kuei. At that time, shortly after Yingqi pretended to die and escaped, the check.in location was set at Shenlong Island. I never expected to just bump into Hong Antong, who was planning to have an affair with Su Kuei. So he took action to save Su Kuei and supported her to become the leader of the Divine Dragon Sect, teaching her martial arts and teachings. 2 years have passed in a blink of an eye. The other party seems to be doing well, bringing the Divine Dragon Sect to a regular level and now ranking in the top 30 of the Supreme Power Gold list. At this very moment, the sound of the check.in system rang in Yingqi's ear. Ding, trigger a new check.in location. Longhu Mountain. Host, please go to Longhu Mountain as soon as possible to complete check.in.